Wheel me into the sunshine, wheel me into the shadow, there must be leaves on the woodbine, is the king cup crowned in the meadow, wheel me down to the meadow, down to the little river, in sun or in shadow we shall not dazzle or shiver, I shall be happy anywhere, every breath of the morning air makes me throb and quiver, stay wherever you will, by the mount or under the hill, or down by the little river, stay as long as you please, give me only a bud from the trees, or a blade of grass in morning dew, or a cloudy violet clearing to blue, I could look on it forever. Wheel, wheel through the sunshine, wheel, wheel through the shadow, there must be odors round the pine, there must be balm of breathing kind somewhere down in the meadow, must I choose? Then anchor me there beyond the beckoning poplars, where the larch is snooting her flowery hair with wreaths of morning shadow among the thicket hazels of the brake, perchance some nightingale doth shake his feathers, and the air is full of song. In those old days when I was young and strong, he used to sing on yonder garden tree, beside the nursery. I remember how I loved to wake, and find him singing on the self-same bough, I know it even now where, since the flit of bat, in ceaseless voice he sat, trying the spring night over, like a tune, beneath the vernal moon, and while I listed long, day rose, and still he sang, and all his staunchless song, as something falling unaware, fell out of the tall trees he sang among, fell ringing down the ringing morn, and rang like a golden jewel down a golden stair. Is it too early? I hope not. But wheel me to the ancient oak, on this side of the meadow, let me hear the raven's croak loosened to an amorous note in the hollow shadow, let me see the winter snake thawing all his frozen rings on the bank where the wren sings, let me hear the little bell, where the red wing, topmast high, looks toward the northern sky, and jangles his farewell. Let us rest by the ancient oak, and see his net of shadow, his net of barren shadow, like those wrestlers' nets of old, hold the winter dead and cold, hoary winter, white and cold, while all is green in the meadow. And when you've rested, brother mine, take me over the meadow, take me along the level crown of the barren silent down, and stop by the ruined tower on its green scarp. By and by, I shall smell the flowering thyme, on its wall the wallflower in the tower, there used to be solitary tree, take me there, for the dear sake of those old days wherein I loved to lie and pull the malilote, and look across the valley to the sky, and hear the joy that filled the warm white hour bubble from the thrush's throat, as into a shining mirror rills some rillet trebling clear, and speaks the silent silver of the lake. There mid cloistering tree roots, year by year, the hen thrush sat, and he, her leaf and dear, among the boughs did make a ceaseless music of her merry time, and all the ancient stones grew sweet to hear, and answered him in the unspoken rhyme of gracious forms most musical that tremble on the wall and trim its age with airy fantasies that flicker in the sun, and hardly seem as if to be beheld were all, and only to our eyes they rise and all, and fall and rise, sink down like silence, or a sudden stream as wind blown on the wind as dreams a wedding chime. But you are wheeling me while I dream, and we've almost reached the meadow. You may wheel me fast through the sunshine, you may wheel me fast through the shadow, but wheel me slowly, brother mine, through the green of the sappy meadow, for the sun, these days have been so fine, must have touched it over with celandine, and the southern hawthorn, I divine, sheds a muffled shadow. There blows the first primrose, under the bare bank roses there is but one, and the bank is brown, but soon the children will come down, the ringing children come singing down, to pick their Easter posies, and they'll spy it out, my beautiful, among the bare briar roses, and when I sit here again alone, the bare brown bank will be blind and dull, alas for Easter posies. But when the din is over and gone, like an eye that opens after pain, I shall see my pale flower shining again, like a fair star after a gust of rain. Shall see my pale flower shining again, like a glowworm after the rolling wain hath shaken darkness down the lane. I shall see my pale flower shining again, and it will blow here for 2 months more, and it will blow here again next year, and the year past that, and the year beyond, and through all the years till my years are a we shall always find it here shining across from the bank above, shining up from the pond below, ere a waterfly wimple the silent pond, or the first green weed appear. And I shall sit here under the tree, and as each slow bud uncloses, I shall see it brighten and brighten to me, from among the leafing briar roses, the leaning leafing roses, as at eve the leafing shadows grow, and the star of light and love draweth near o'er her airy glades, draweth near through her heavenly shades, as a maid through a myrtle grove. And the flowers will multiply, as the stars come blossoming over the sky, the bank will blossom, the waters blow, till the singing children hitherward hie to gather May-day posies, and the bank will be bare wherever they go, as dawn, the primrose girl, goes by, and alas for heaven's primroses. Blare the trumpet, and boom a gun, but, oh, to sit here thus in the sun, to sit here, feeling my work is done, while the sands of life so golden run. And I watch the children's posies, and my idle heart is whispering, bring whatever the years may bring, the flowers will blossom, the birds will sing, and there'll always be primroses. Looking before me here in the sun, I see the Aprils one after one, primrosed Aprils one by one, primrosed Aprils on and on, till the floating prospect closes in golden glimmers that rise, and perhaps are gleams of paradise, and perhaps too far for mortal eyes. New years of fresh primroses, years of earth's primroses, springs to be, and springs for me of distant dim primroses. My soul lies out like a basking hound, a hound that dreams and dozes. Along my life my length I lay, I fell tomorrow and yesterday. I am warm with the suns that have long since set, I am warm with the summers that are not yet, and like one who dreams and dozes softly afloat on a sunny sea, two worlds are whispering over me, and there blows a wind of roses from the backward shore to the shore before, from the shore before to the backward shore, and like two clouds that meet and pour each through each, till core and Korea's single self reposes, the nevermore with the evermore above me mingles and closes, as my soul lies out like the basking hound, and wherever it lies seems happy ground, and when, awakened by some sweet sound, a dreamy eye uncloses, I see a blooming world around, and I lie amid primroses, years of sweet primroses, springs of fresh primroses, springs to be, and springs for me of distant dim primroses. Oh, to lie a dream, to feel I'm a dream, and to know you deem my work is done forever, and the palpitating fever that gains and loses and gains, and beats the hurrying blood, and the brunt of 1,000 pains cooled at once by that blood let upon the parapet, and all the tedious task toil of the difficult long endeavor solved and quit by no more fine than these limbs of mine, spanned and measured once for all by that right hand I lost, bought up at so light a cost as one bloody fall on the soldier's bed, and 3 days on the ruin wall among the thirstless dead. Oh, to think my name is crossed from duty's muster roll, that I may slumber though the clarion call, and live the joy of an embodied soul free as a liberated ghost. Oh, to feel a life of deed was emptied out to feed that fire of pain that burned so brief a while, that fire from which I come, as the dead come forth from the irreparable tomb, or as a martyr on his funeral pile heaps up the burdens other men do bear through years of segregated care, and takes the total load upon his shoulders broad, and steps from earth to God. Oh, to think, through good or ill, whatever I am you'll love me still. Oh, to think, though dull I be, you that are so grand and free, you that are so bright and gay, will pause to hear me when I will, as though my head were grey, and though there's little I can say, each will look kind with honor while he hears. And to your loving ears my thoughts will halt with honorable scars, and when my dark voice stumbles with the weight of what it doth relate, like that blind comrade blinded in the wars who bore the one-eyed brother that was lame, you'll remember 'tis the same that cried follow me, upon a summer's day, and I shall understand with unshed tears this great reverence that I see, and bless the day and thee, Lord God of victory. And she, perhaps so even she may look as she looked when I knew her in those old days of childish sooth, ere my boyhood dared to woo her. I will not seek nor sue her, for I'm neither fonder nor truer than when she slighted my lovelorn youth, my giftless, graceless, gameless truth, and I only lived to rue her. But I'll never love another, and, in spite of her lovers and lands, she shall love me yet, my brother, as a child that holds by his mother, while his mother speaks his praises, holds with eager hands, and ruddy and silent stands in the ruddy and silent daisies, and hears her bless her boy, and lifts a wondering joy. So I'll not seek nor sue her, but I'll leave my glory to woo her, and I'll stand like a child beside, and from behind the purple pride I'll lift my eyes unto her, and I shall not be denied. And you will love her, brother dear, and perhaps next year you'll bring me here all through the balmy April tide, and she will trip like spring by my side, and be all the birds to my ear, and here all three will sit in the sun, and see the Aprils one by one, primrosed Aprils on and on, till the floating prospect closes in golden glimmers that rise, and perhaps, are gleams of paradise, and perhaps, too far for mortal eyes, new springs of fresh primroses, springs of earth's primroses, springs to be and springs for me, of distant dim primroses,